Hello everyone, Derek's Damn Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. Today we've got the Elite Series 114 Ilja Dragunov, and well, I am fairly excited to get into this action figure review. Of course, this is the only man we have from this wave so far. Have not picked up Zoe Starks, have not gotten the new Braun Breaker, the new Tommaso Ciampa, let alone the new Usos. So with all that being said, maybe one day I will find my way to get the Uso figures. Maybe I'll get the Braun Breaker too. The Tommaso wouldn't hurt, but I don't know. I want to see what they do with the Johnny Gargano, because honestly, if the Gargano looks like shit, I probably won't get it. Anywho, with all that being said, why don't I shush the hell up and we can get into this action figure review now, shall we? Alrighty, you guys. Now that we've got Ilja Dragunov out of his plastic prison, we can get into the action figure. But first, we gotta get through all of his accessories, and he does come with quite a fair share of accessories, to say the least. First things first, we will look at this NXT 2.0 version of the NXT Championship. The main way you can tell which version is which is this one has a lot of the color in it. The one that came right before this was just standard silver and gold, if I recall correctly. But yeah, we've got the NXT 2.0 version of the NXT Championship. He comes with 3 different sets of hands. As you can see, he's got the mic holding / weapon holding hands on the figure already. He had one of the pointer finger hands in, but I'll explain why I took the one pointer finger out and put in the standard hand, I guess you could say. But he comes with the pointer fingers, and then he comes with these Randy Orton style entrance hands. And well, the nicest part of this figure, he comes with this nice red and black patterned jacket or robe with the fur starting from the one shoulder that comes up there. He's got it along the wrists here, and it also connects, well, it doesn't necessarily like connect, but it kind of looks like it does from certain angles. But the outlining of the jacket here, so the outer layer here, I guess you could say, I'm not exactly sure how to explain it, don't know why, but there's a lot of fur on this jacket, to say the least. But with all that being said, the reason why I did take the pointer finger hand out was to get this jacket off. Technically I had to remove both hands because the cuffs on this jacket are really tight. Like, you are not gonna pull that jacket off without stretching that fabric. And well, I want to keep that jacket as long as can be. And with all that being said, let's get into this Ilja Dragunov. First things first, we do have this newer head scan. Mine was a little bit scuffed up, but I'm sure you can actually see I did manage to scratch some of it off. But here in the hairline, there is like a little bit left there, and you might be able to see the scuffs on the forehead from certain angles. That would definitely be a quality control issue. He also had one up here on the shoulder, and he does have a little bit of scuffage on this boot right here. But other than that, everything else does look really solid. He is posing fairly well. My only complaint as far as posability goes with this new Ilja Dragunov, I was gonna say hopefully I can get both arms to pose, because they were moving just fine off camera. Of course, it isn't nothing to do with the upper half. Thankfully, even the head scan moves fairly well. It's nothing to do with these pin-in legs here. Of course, you know, the best posability comes from these legs right here. So Mattel, please for the love of God, keep using those. And oddly enough, unlike my Kofi Kingston, well, not this one, but my other Elite 13 Kofi Kingston, It is nothing to do with the new boot mold. And I say new boot mold because for those of you that don't know, I think it was like Elite 12, maybe 13, but I want to say it was Elite 12. We have the boot, or well, ankle rotation now with these figures, so the ankle can now spin 360. Of course, it's nothing to do with the lower legs. It's all right here in the upper leg. This Ilja Dragunov can pose fairly well right here, but the moment I go to give him the split, he does not want to pose, and it was giving me a bit of trouble off camera, so I'm not going to fully pose it because I don't want to end up breaking this mid-review. But yeah, so Ilja Dragunov has a nice hot tub waiting for him after this review is done and over with. But of course, getting into the rest of the detail, I guess you can say, other than the articulation, he has fairly nice red and black boots. He's got black socks. I don't know what that says, but you've got un Essig era, I think that's what that says. You've got that in like a pinkish color. You've got that same pinkish color here on the side, and it's all wrapped around in a nice like purplish maroonish color, I'd say. More or less purple, more than likely, at least I'd say that. I'm not a big color expert. But with all that being said, why don't we get Ilja Dragunov all posed up now, shall we? Alrighty, you guys. Now that we've got Ilja all posed up, kind of like he's making his entrance here for Ladder War. If you guys have been paying attention to my Pick Fed series, at least that's the pay-per-view I'm currently working on. Hence why we've got all these guys standing here in the ring, but we'll get into that a little bit later on towards the outro. What do I have to say about this Ilja Dragunov? I don't have a whole lot to say. I do love his gear. I do love the entrance jacket. I do love the fact that he comes with the NXT 2.0 championship, of course. He is on the main roster now, I want to say, so him coming out with that doesn't really matter all that much, but whatever, you know, maybe I could have had him come out with the belt. Maybe I chose not to for a reason, but at the end of the day, it is a fairly dope figure to have in the collection. I just hope that at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, and I do pop that leg off, that he does pose fairly well, because I would love to introduce this man into the Pick Fed, not just to have him in for the personal collection, especially with the updated goatee look. It's one of my favorite looks for him so far. When he was a babyface, yeah, it was fine, but him having that goatee just adds an extra level to his character. And with all that being said, I'm going to give this figure a good solid 7 out of 10. If I didn't have that leg issue, I'd give him a good solid 9, but honestly, I'm sick and tired of having to deal with this leg problem. I don't want to give these figures a little hot bath treatment every time I get them, review them, and want to then hope like to have them in for future use in the Pick Fed or something like that. Then I gotta sit here and take these legs off and do all this weird crap with it just to play with my own figures that I'm spending my hard-earned money on, or for some of you, you're spending mommy and daddy's hard-earned money on. Anyways, doesn't really matter whether you're, 4 or 40 and you're still having mommy and daddy buy them for you. I know every now and again for Christmas my dad might get me one too. Anyway, when it comes down to it at the end of the day, I do like this figure. And when it comes to the Meltzer star rating, I did give him a good solid 7 out of 10, so a good 3.5 out of 5 stars I feel works fairly well for him. And if you don't know, when we do the Meltzer star rating, we just essentially take the original rating, cut it in half for the 5-star out of, instead of the out of 10 for the 1 to Young Bucks segment, but I kind of forgot my line there, so I kind of messed it up and just explained it instead. But yeah, with all that being said, I sadly do not have a lot of time left on this camera. I gotta go through my storage with this phone. Worst case scenario, I might grab my old phone and start using that for reviews. Though I do like the way this camera looks. I can't put an SD card in here, and if I can, it's probably gotta be a Sony branded SD card, so womp womp, I guess. But with all that being said, if you liked the video, feel free to like the video, but if you didn't, womp womp. But if you did like the video, feel free to check out some of my other action figure content, such as unboxings. We do some other stuff every now and again that would kind of take a minute to explain, like maybe here soon too, going through my entire collection, just because we do have quite a bit of figures from the crowd. As you can see, we've got quite a bit up in there. We got a second row display up there. We've got my display shelf that is right next to the figure arena. I would show that off, but I gotta clean it. Plus my totes and all that stuff. I got a lot of these things. I've been collecting them for years, and it would be a sob story to get into why I do still collect them and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, that's kind of why I do this as well, so it's not like I'm just still buying these for no reason. I enjoy collecting, and I kind of do enjoy reviewing these and seeing people enjoy the reviews as well, let alone the unboxings, let alone the pick fed, which is what I have currently set up in the ring. Anywho, on that note, I'm just gonna kind of stop rambling on. If you guys would like to, feel free to follow me on Instagram. If not there, feel free to follow me here on YouTube. After all, it is free to subscribe. And if you do, you'll help me get to my goal of 350 subs. Right now, we are at the, 323 mark. I think I'm gonna make this a casual occurrence where I just pull it up for you guys here. So as you can see, we've got 323 subscribers. Let's get to the goal of 350 subs. Maybe by the end of the year we could hit 500, who knows. But yeah, on that note, have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, morning, whatever the case may be, because I don't know when you're watching this, let alone what your time zone is. And if I were in your time zone, would I enjoy it better than mine? Probably not, probably so. On that note though, we are out of here. So, deuces, ooses, yeet. Well, I'm not gonna knock him down the stairs. I don't want to break it.